didn't even introduce yourself.
I didn't even introduce myself. Wow, I knew going in.
We have to learn how to love kids.
I really learned myself.
85% of our calls are EMS.
That's not only for police, but, it is for firefighters and 911 telecommunicators.
Our last guest is going to be a great show today.
Mm-hmm.
God said, come as you are, right?
You gotta go down memory lane. Oh, man. No, that was really
great conversation, you guys. Wow.
You know it feels so good.
All right, good morning. Joy, 1340 AM listeners. We are back in the building this week. I am Officer Ralph McLean with Milwaukee Police Department, the Office of Community Relations, Engagement, and Recruitment, and I am in the building with...
Yes, sir. My name is Jordan Dickerson. I am one of the recruiters with the City of Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission, and we are back with episode 49 of The Conversation.
And we hope everyone had a very relaxed, happy, blessed Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely did.
Full of good eatings,
Most definitely. That's all I was doing was eating.
And no cooking?
Nah.
I
brought myself and my appetite. That was it.
Well, that's beautiful. That's good. We would like to say that we wish everyone during this time happy holiday season. Be blessed. Be warm, because we're in that time where
cold here now.
Yeah, the cold is here now. Yeah, boy. After December 1st kicks in, that's about it. I would be remiss, as I always say, if I don't let the listening radio audience know that we are hiring at the Milwaukee Police Department. We are looking for good people to come on this great department to serve the community. If that has ever been an aspiration of yours, a thought, we encourage you to apply at the City of Milwaukee /job website, where the application is currently posted. It will be taken down for just a bit, and I'll let Jordan explain that.
Yeah, so the application, it closes on December 6th, but that's okay because, we will still open up, applications again sometime in January. And even if the application isn't open, you can actually text this number right here. It's 414-519-6190. Again, that's 414-519-6190. So if you go to the website and you see that the application isn't open, just text that number and let us know that you're interested, and we'll actually add you to a text list. That way you can receive a text message once the application opens up. You can also text that number if you ever have any questions at all, just about the application, about the process, and things of that nature. We'll always get back to you and provide you with the best information as possible.
Absolutely. We're always out and about at different career fairs and resource fairs. So if you ever see us out there, come up, say hello, ask us any questions regarding the process. And now I would like to introduce our guest this morning. We are blessed to have in the studio with us Mrs. Mary Fullilove and Jesse Fullilove, her husband, who Jesse is a veteran of the Army. And you said you spent time over in Vietnam as well?
No, I spent time when they said, unfortunately, I got hurt.
Okay. All right. But you are one of our wonderful servicemen, veterans of the one and only Army, the only branch, the Army.
Yes, I am.
All right, great. And so they are in the studio with us. Mrs. Mary Fullilove, I came into contact with first with our Citizens Academy that we hold at the Milwaukee Police Safety Academy. And just immediately, her spirit was just always so welcoming and energized, and she just always, a wealth of knowledge, but also you get that service spirit from her.
You just see them pouring out of her.
You just see it pouring out of her from all pores. So it was such a blessing to have her part of the class. So Miss Mary Fullilove is Salvation Army Milwaukee Citadel's food pantry coordinator, where she runs the pantry and provides food to those who walk through the Salvation Army doors. In addition, she still serves as the neighborhood block watch captain over on her block, and she's also a volunteer chaplain in the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County Chaplain Program. She is, as she says, a Salvation Army soldier, and we are blessed to have her and her husband in the studio, and blessed to have her do what she does out here in this community. Mrs. Fullilove, Mr. Fullilove, welcome to the conversation.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So did I read this correct? Are you either from Chicago or you live in Chicago?
Oh, from Chicago.
There you go. All right.
No, lived in Chicago. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, you played
Country girl.
See, I was gonna say almost it made up for seeing the nice Milwaukee Bucks jacket
Yeah.
that her husband had on coming in here, which is nice.
Yeah, it is.
But even as a Bulls fan, I have to say the jacket.
You can respect it, right?
Oh man, I can respect that. That's a sharp jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. How long did you live in Chicago?
Since I was 9 years old.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
9 till I was 15.
19 or
Okay.
15.
Mhm.
Okay. And before that, are you a native from here or?
No,
Okay.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Country girl.
Oh, look at that. Birmingham, Alabama. All right.
Mhm.
And what brought you from Birmingham up to Chicago?
Ooh, I can't tell that story. We had to leave in the middle of the night.
Oh,
You know?
oh wow.
Yeah, my mom got into it with somebody, and we just commuted to Chicago.
Commuted to Chicago. What side of Chicago you stay?
We stayed on the west side in K-Town.
There you go. The west side. The west
1527
side.
South Ridgeway.
There you go. West side. Madison and Pulaski.
Yeah,
Area. Yeah. Great. And then you were there from 9 to 15.
right.
How was it growing up during that time in Chicago?
Well, it was, I mean, you could say it was pleasant, really, for the things that's going on now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? You just go to school, come home, cook, eat, you know.
Mhm.
Life was simpler then.
Okay.
You know.
I hear you. Yeah.
Mary, I want you to. There's a couple of topics that I want to hit on today. One is about the block watch and you being, that being so heavily part of you and the things that you do. And I also want to talk about, your work at the Salvation Army and that journey a little bit, right? Because I read and I seen that, you growing up, you were already a part of Salvation Army, and it played an influential role in you getting to where you are today. Right. And I seen that you gave a lot of credit to Salvation Army because you spoke about how, when you were out there and, you're coming from the streets and everything, like they actually helped you out and everything like that. Talk about that story a little bit about, the time where you're on the street and just the help that you got from the Salvation Army and the role that they played in your life.
When I was, I got New York Times in 93. I was going through something. I didn't know how to deal with death. So I partied and, I dealing around with drugs.
Yeah.
And I went to Salvation Army and started working. They gave me a job downstairs because my son was a Head Start person.
Okay.
So I started volunteering there, being a Head Start, parent Head Start. Then I ended up being the president of the parent committee. Then I ended up being the president of the policy committee. And then I was helping this old lady upstairs. She was about to retire, named Miss Owens, with her cooking. Because they was telling her, trying to push her out.
Yeah.
So I was carrying the pans for her behind the scene. So I ended up being the head cook. When she retired, she referred me. And that was in 92. So that's how I ended up at Salvation Army.
And
I ended up being the head cook.
But it all started with just like that willingness to go in there and just volunteer. What was it in you that just made you want to, pour into, the Salvation Army and like just kind of volunteer and offer up your time and be so dedicated to it and committed to it?
Because I really like what they is about. They really is about helping. They got the housing program. They give out the coats, the food, There's a lot of things that they do, for people. That's what I like Salvation Army.
And with your in your position as a block watch captain, what got you started? Why was it important for you to not only become a block watch captain, but get others involved in similar programs?
Because I was living in a neighborhood where we saw our people out there just, doing the drugs and just surviving however way they can. We have a lot of mental health in our community. So it just, when I thought about it, first I was like thinking it was a nuisance because I had bought a house and it was like hanging in front of my house. And then I said, well, you didn't want no more police brutality going on.
Right.
So I got with Milwaukee Police Department, District 7,
Mm-hmm.
Safe and Sound first, and they introduced me to the officers, the community officers. And then we came up with a plan. So we decided that we could figure out some way to help instead of,
Yeah.
just arresting people.
Yeah.
So then I walked over to Salvation Army, which they had their doors closed to the community,
Yeah.
and asked them to open the doors up.
That's awesome.
And that, because that's a resource center, open it up for our community so we could get something done in this community.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so grateful to meet Patricia Williams. And she opened the doors. She was like, you can come in and you can have this office right here. You can work your block watch program right out of there. And it went on from there. So we celebrated. We threw a block party.
Mm-hmm.
And then we asked the people that came what they'd like to have in our community.
Yeah.
A lot of people said they needed food and they needed coats and stuff like that. So then we just applied for food pantry. And we started that. I started that pantry. Was in 2018.
Okay. That's
And they Hunger Task Force and Feed America just jumped right in and helped us out.
Oh, great.
That's beautiful. And it just talks about like a full circle moment in that time. Like, can you speak about like the emotions that you were kind of feeling in that moment when, like, did it ever hit you like, wow, like, I really came a long way. Like, there's a point in time where I was a person coming into the Salvation Army looking for food and needing resources. And now I'm actually the person who's helping people and providing resources. Well, there's a moment in your life where you felt like, wow, full circle.
Yeah, I do every day, really. I just thank God for it. It's all Him, because I didn't know how all this came about years in past, and it's just natural now. It's just that I know how I feel.
Yeah.
So that's why I serve people from my heart, because I know, how I feel to be in that kind of position.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was going to say, too, because you mentioned, like, you were in the neighborhood and you seen people in the community and in the neighborhood, you've seen, like, the drugs being sold, all the stuff going on. But I read the article and it spoke about how, sometimes you did like, hey, look, you ain't supposed to be, like, you don't live in this neighborhood. You got to go. This ain't the spot for you, right?
Right.
But you also spoke about the compassion side and the compassion that you had towards people who you knew belonged in that neighborhood, but they just, weren't in the right space in that moment. What was it in your heart that just led you to have that compassion and look at somebody and not devalue them at all, still see them as a valuable person and say, you know what, I'm going to extend my hand and reach out and actually like help you and give you the resources that you need?
Well, one thing I did, I walked and talked, and you know what I'm saying? I had personal contact with them. When I walked, the community. So I talked to people, and then I get the, feedback from them, how their life was. You'd be surprised. Some of the people that was out there, they used to have good jobs. Some of them worked for the city and the state in different jobs. And things that happened in their life that they medicate themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even with the dealers,
Yeah.
some of them was product of their mother on the drugs, and so that's their way of surviving. So, not saying I agree with it, but I understood it.
Yeah.
That people got to eat, and they got the only way they know how to survive. That's what they do.
Yeah. So pretty much what you're saying is, hey, by simply just going out there and listening to them, that gave you a lot of wisdom and knowledge. Okay, I'm gonna take the time to listen to them. I hear the problems, I hear the struggles. Now I can provide somehow some type of resources to help them out, and that's what it is, right? Like, and you talk about it all the time, like even on the job, how a lot of times, like, you just need to communicate with somebody and listen to them and hear the problems that they're going through, and not look at them for what they're going through in this moment, but understand that there could be something in the past that is actually causing all of this. And by you simply just taking the time to listen to them, to hear them out, you'll be able to learn so much more about the person, and honestly ways that you can even bless them and help them.
Yeah, because it could be us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for a lot of people like Miss Mary here, it has been. That's the thing. And one of my favorite sayings, there but before the grace of God go I. And so I think we owe it to each other as human beings to look out for one another, no matter what station you are in life, no matter where you live or anything, your social economic status or whatever. We owe it to each other to try to look out for each other and provide resources there, especially when you talk about basic resources like food, clothing, and such. But then you go the extra step, especially again back with Block Watch as far as neighborhood safety. And it's two-part. I'm going to ask the first one first with that. Where did you get that spirit to because like Jordan mentioned, you know, telling people, hey, you don't live over here or whatever.
Right.
Where did you get that spirit to make sure that your area in your environment is safe? That area, that spirit to, you know, have that kind of courage, because a lot of people don't have that.
Right.
Be fearful. Yeah.
Well, one thing, all the people knew me because I used to walk past and I used to make sure, like sometimes I used to buy hats and hats and stuff and say, man, put on a hat. You sit out here in this cold. Or the sisters, man, ain't you tired of being sick and tired? You know, come over here and just volunteer. Try to give them some hope. You could take the names down for me. It's something you could do other than sitting out here, you know. And so they knew me like that. So, you know, sometimes they would get a little irritable when I be like, man, y'all, come on now, y'all, the block is all nasty. Y'all messing up. The kids can't come go to the store.
Right.
And then they'll be like, this is my block. I've been over here. I said, you don't even live over here. You know, you don't even need to be over here. You don't live over here.
That's right.
And they was like, tell me it's they block. I said, you don't have a house or nothing over here. And there been times I go get petition for certain things like the speed bump. I couldn't let them sign because they didn't live over here. I said, you don't live over here. I can't let you sign this paper.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. So,
and was there anyone in your family like that as well?
my mother.
Okay.
That's where you got it from.
My mother was just, I don't know how I got it because I didn't like it when she was doing it. I thought it was,
Right.
I just thought it was too much for her. But
Well, we're glad you inherited that from her. The other part of that is, have you met a lot of resistance with doing that from people who, when I say resistance, I mean those who are afraid to speak out. They don't want, you know, so they're like, oh,
no confrontation.
we don't want any confrontation, so we're just gonna let it be. Or was it more like when they seen you, you got like the cooperation of everybody else, and they said, hey, yeah, we can do this?
yeah, you'd be surprised. Some of the people that was on the street would help me when it's time for me to do an event.
Okay.
They want to come and help me clean up, fix up, straighten up, and everything. You know, and then some people are afraid. Like when we do the cleanups, they don't want people to see them there. Like they snitching or something, you know. I don't know.
And what do you usually tell them?
Hey, we doing something positive. You know, even with the police. Man, if it wasn't for the police department, seeing them in a different light too was a great thing. Because when we do the cleanups and everything, the police is there. This is something that is at every event. So, and they just talk. They even come to the pantry and volunteer.
Wow.
So it's seeing them in such a light too, and they hearing the stories and getting the love too. So that's a blessing of it all. You know?
Great.
Yeah, I heard Mr. Jesse, you said somewhat like they don't want to associate with the police, right?
Some of them don't.
When they see you walk with the police, you know, they think you
A snitch.
Yeah, you mess with them and everything. No, that's so true. I do want to because when you talk about Ralph, you mentioned like, you know, how do you have that spirit of like, you know, the courage and everything like that? Because my dad, he brings this up a lot, and he says that, you know, a lot of the reasons why we see, you know, our generation now, you know, with the lack of respect that they have sometimes, is because sometimes you have our elders now who are afraid to actually speak up and correct the elders, right? They're fearful of retaliation. They're fearful of, you know, them harming them or some type of way. And, you know, that's a terrible aspect to live in, especially, you know, as an elder trying to teach and provide wisdom and stuff like that. And it just brought me back to a story like when you say like how you would go out there and you're always like actively talking with people. You were in the community doing the work, and people knew who you were. And, you know, I spoke to you and I told you like how I grew up right around by that Salvation Army, 4230 on Lancaster and everything like that. And during that time, like, you know, there was a lot of, you know, drugs going on, prostitution stuff going on, all this stuff going on around the neighborhood. But it was like my dad or my stepdad and my mom, like our house was like the pillar of the neighborhood. And like people always had respect for like that block around that area. And there was a time where like one of my friends, every year in August, he would have a birthday party. It would be a huge block party, block off the streets and everything, get barricades. And I'm talking about we would have DJs, we'll have our basketball courts out there. And literally like the whole community would like come together in that moment and hang out and have a good time. And I can't tell you one time where there was ever a fight broke out,
Right.
gun violence was going on, drugs were being sold during that moment. And in those times, it was simply just a moment of peace. And I think, it's important for us to have those pillars in our community and in our neighborhoods, because then you have people who are actually willing to, yes, we understand there is violence, there is stuff that goes on, but we still at least want to offer some type of light in this situation. So I think it's so important that you continue to do that in what you do.
Keep some positivity.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Miss Mary could probably attest to this. When you get out there in the community, first of all, you got to have a spirit of love too.
Mhm.
And that's what she does. She loves the people. I think it was Dr. Cornel West who said that, how can you serve the people if you don't love the people?
Mhm.
And so I acknowledge that you could feel that that's what she,
Yeah.
does.
Absolutely.
She loves the people. But when you get out there, even working being blessed enough to work in a community unit like I do, you realize you get out, the communities, because we come from these same communities.
Right.
Get out and get people are just people.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, because of maybe different educational situations or economic situations. You have crime, but block by block.
Mhm.
You got homeowners and people who care about their homes, who care about the upkeep of their homes, and they don't want a lot of the crime around there either.
Mhm.
So when you get out there and you just interact with people, you'll find that you will get
Mhm.
cooperation. But a lot of times they just want to make sure that you're sincere in your
Yeah,
intentions. That's all.
absolutely.
So it's that thing, and the intentionality that Miss Mary brings and her husband brings.
Mhm.
When you out there in community shows people that you care.
Mhm.
You'll get a lot of people who are willing to say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I'll join you in this. Let's
Yeah.
do this." So I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And Mary, just talk about what drives you to continue to do it, right? Like, this is not something that you have to do at all, right?
Right.
It's very easy to live in a neighborhood and be like, well, my house is good. My house is protected. Like, I don't have to worry about, all this other stuff is going on.
Mhm.
I'm going to turn a blind eye to it. Or just like, I don't have to worry about it all. What is it about you that's like, like, I see what's going on and I have to do something about it? What drives you to continue to do this positive work?
One thing, I feel like it's my calling.
Mm.
And it just naturally happens. I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
I know it's God just making me do with my purpose, walking in my purpose. And one of the biggest things is kids.
Mm.
I see the kids, they can't come out and play. So I have gravitated towards a lot of the community kids.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons I pushed too, so they could go to the store. I like to hear kids laughing,
Mhm.
playing hopscotch, jump rope, and stuff like that. So it's the kids.
Mhm.
It's one of the things.
I would like to Mary to tell a story about the kids because she, back when I first met her, she had a cycle breaker.
Oh yeah, I did a program called the Cycle Breakers. A lot of ladies that was on drugs. The kids was angry.
Mm.
So all the teenage kids used to be at my house. And I was trying to explain to them, about that it's an illness, not to be mad. So we end up just going around talking. Did start going around talking to other children.
Mm.
And all of them kids are grown and professional kids now. They've been calling me lately. That's why he's saying it. They've been calling me and thanking me and saying if it wasn't for me stepping in, she wouldn't be a police officer,
Wow.
a nurse,
Look at that.
post office worker,
That's a beautiful. thing.
detective, doctor,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So they all turned out and they wanted to get together and thank me.
So
So they're going through my son and doing it.
you're saying these were kids just like in the community who you kind of like took hold of and you brought into your own home?
I just told him, hang out at my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had one kid, he wanted to be a drug dealer, so I had grabbed him in and his mother gave me permission to go up to the school and everything. So I used to go up there like I'm his mother. Look, you're not going to do this. And one time he was trying to sell drugs. I snatched him out the
Look
place.
at that.
Hey, look, what you going to do? You ain't finna sell no drugs. You going to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me mom today and thanked me. Because now he a married man with a good job and 4 kids.
Isn't that beautiful? Well, that's a blessing.
And that's so fulfilling.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Jesse, for mentioning that.
No, for
We
real.
appreciate that. Yeah, and it's called Cycle
It was the
Breakers.
cycle breakers.
Cycle Breakers.
I said, we the cycle, y'all the cycle breakers. Y'all gonna break the cycle. Don't worry about all that. You know?
And that's so important for young kids to actually hear,
Yeah.
especially coming from somebody who's older than them and stuff, because you know a lot of times we can have people as a young person, you know, talking down on you, talking negative to you, understanding that you know the traumas that you know you may be dealing with in your family. They just think like, oh, this is a part of me and I just have to deal with it. And you're telling them, like, you're pouring into them, preaching life into them, like, no, you're actually meant to break this cycle, right? This is not something that's meant to be a part of you and continue in your generation. It stops with you right here. So man, that's awesome that you just like
awesome. Yeah, Brother Jesse, is there anything you want to say about being beside this wonderful servant of a woman here?
And it's just awesome. I just push her beside her if that's what you want to do.
That's great.
That's great. And I know she wanted to have a food pantry 20 years ago. So she just give.
He betted me that I couldn't get one.
And all of that, when she passed out coat and things. I look
Out my house.
I look in there. I don't have a coat.
She took your coat and you're like, oh, yeah.
I said, Jesse, you don't need this coat.
Oh,
Man out here don't have no coat
Where's
on.
my coat? How long ago did you guys meet, or how long you been married?
35 years.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
Well, 35 years ago, that's when she asked me to tell me what my name is. I said, Fullilove. And she said, wow, full of that. 35 years later, I don't know what people actually when you said Fullilove. What the heck you?
I don't know. They don't be thinking that's my name.
Oh, yeah.
They be amazed that my name is Fullilove.
So that means you got to do something. You got to give back.
Yeah.
If your name Fullilove.
Oh, yeah. When you can tell it's a marriage full of love.
And I got a question about the marriage, you know, because speaking to a young man who's, of course, like still actively looking for the right partner and everything and finding the right partner, what is some advice that you could give somebody who is currently in the process of like trying to find that person? And once they do find that person, like what is an important thing that you could tell them to make sure that, you know, you continue to have that marriage that is full of love?
Oh, your TikTok videos don't work.
Just first try to find it. Make sure you got to be a friend. You got to be true to yourself. Somebody that let you be yourself. Then you know you're off to a good start.
Okay.
And it's a partnership.
Okay. So partnership and allow the person to be themselves.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Support each other.
Well, great. Well, we can tell that you two certainly have that. And Miss Mary Fullilove, thank you tremendously for what you do for this community, City of Milwaukee, and all the people. You're truly a blessing, truly a servant. Miss Mary also was recently given an honor. Was it with Safe and Sound? Recently. Yeah. So everything is well deserved.
Thank you.
I'm glad people are recognizing that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on today's version of Conversation, today's show, and we want you to have a wonderful holiday season coming up.
Thank you.
All the listeners, be blessed. We'll be back at it next week.
All right, God bless.
Thank you for having me.